Hello, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Can everyone hear me all right? That is the question. That is what I want to know. All right. Yay. All right. So everybody can hear me. So it's Friday night, March 15th. It's the Ides of March. Does anybody know what that is? Et tu, Brute? Okay. All right. Right? I love that. A little bit of history. All right. So wait, Lala, you had the headphones all the way up. See, the problem was for some reason, okay, someone, Kim Borders told me that we are like Mercury retrograde. I don't need to know that stuff because then everything is because of Mercury retrograde. But all of my technology over like the last week has just taken a total dump on me. And I thought, please God, at least let this just work tonight. So all of my speakers, for some reason, my mics, my computer, everything is like whistling at a high pitch. So I had to turn it way down. And as long as you guys have a clear, you're not getting an echo and a screech and everything else. All right. Yeah. Kim is here. So is Lala. There we go. So if you guys have questions, throw them at either of them because it is kind of hard for me to watch through the chat is what's going on. And I'm just going to pull people from the room and read you guys. Now, for those of you who are new to this and have never read before, I've been doing this for 32 years. First of all, I am Rebecca Foster. So if you don't know who I am, now you do. But I've been doing this for 32 years, and all of my information comes from God, from spirit guides, and people who have passed over. I do not consult the dead. I only repeat what they look like, how they sound, what they smell like, to help identify who they are. And that's what they do. They just give me identifiers. So then I will first, since it's such a short span of time that I am reading for people, I will, I'll tell you first what I'm seeing, and then I'll tell you what it means. And it's going to be quick, and it's going to be what your guides feel like you need to know right now. So if you have questions about it that go beyond what I can do tonight for you, you can always message me or email me at my website, rebeccafoster.co, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I get a lot of emails, a lot of requests, and I do try to get back to everybody quickly. Okay. So if you're new here and I've never read you before, just throw it in there, hey, I'm new here, because we do watch for that, for people who are new, who have never been read, and I will grab people out of chat who simply just do their thing. It's funny because I just looked down and it said 444. So my guides are telling me, Rebecca, just keep doing what you're doing. Woohoo! All right. So, time to get energized, right? Okay. So also, if you're on here, make sure you click on the bell. If nothing else, click the bell because the bell is what tells you when I get on. And I did not set this up as an event scheduled to put it out there to people. So, and I have a glass of wine, ta-da! So it's still full, but it's only if I get thirsty. Okay. So I'm gonna grab a couple of people here that I have not. Well, I'm gonna just grab a couple of people right off the bat, and we're gonna get here going. Okay. All right. Oh, and we have Alexis Fox. Alexis is editing my book right now, so say hello to Alexis. And that's very cool. We have lots of people here. All right. So Carol Jones, what I'm going to do is normally like the camera is my eyes and it's your eyes. And normally I would look into your eyes to communicate with you. However, when I'm doing my readings, I am looking at what is beyond the veil. And so I'm off in La La Land and country land and clouds and that sort of thing. So we'll just get started. And I will not call you out for something that might be embarrassing or that you don't want the world to know. But if I'm supposed to tell someone a message, and people always say, was that meant for me? I don't know if that sounded like it was meant for me. If I say this is for everyone, It's because it's for someone in the chat that doesn't need to be called out, or it is meant for several people. So it's just a sensitive way of dealing with lots of things all at the same time. So Carol Jones, the first thing I'm supposed to tell you is that you are supposed to move forward. And it feels like a move. It feels like walking from one door that's a legit, real, earthly door to the next door. And it feels like either you're selling and then moving, or you are helping someone to sell and move. But this is like a yes, go ahead. And it's funny because as I'm looking at this whole thing, I'm being told that you need to walk through a doorway. But when I tell your energy that, because I converse with energies, and I pick you up and I put you down and I move you around so that I can see all these things. I can put you on the back of an elephant if I wanted to. I could give you puppy dogs if I wanted to. I just need to see how people react to things. And so, Carol, when I say it's time for you to walk through the door, you lean back against me and I have to shove you forward and your feet kind of dig through the dirt as I'm pushing you through the door. So there's a reluctance to move through. And that's understandable because anytime we move from something old to something new, there's the feeling that we're leaving something behind or that we're going to lose something or miss out on something. And so that's not the case here. It's basically saying you have to move forward. And so don't second guess yourself. Don't wrestle with this. Oh my God, I turned the heat on down here because it's so bloody cold. And now I'm flipping dying. I'm like, why am I so hot? It's because I have a heater on like 110 hell. Okay. So Carol, that is for you. That is basically saying the doorway is there. Walk through it. Legit, like literal and figurative, earthly and spiritual. Okay. So Jesse Garcia, you have things coming through that involve family. This looks like a little boy around you. And I'm in the corner of a room and you are standing, I'm just standing at the corner of a room. Up the wall from me is a doorway. I think it goes to outside. And then to my left would be like a dining or eating area. And I'm seeing family. I see a grandfather figure here and I see a younger boy. And I'm seeing this younger boy. This is weird because I almost feel like I'm supposed to talk like different when I'm talking. It's almost like it's coming through with an accent. That's weird, right? The way your guides are making me talk. But it looks like a little boy is talking to somebody that's not there. And I'm behind you and you're standing in front of me and you're like this. You're rubbing your face, you're really contemplating everything, and you're weighing the room out. And this is showing like the way that you are standing there is you are surveying everything and you're weighing out the room and what's your next step and what's your next move. And then the fact that you're rubbing your chin tells me that you're just uncertain, like you're confused about what to do next. And so it's all involving family and what's best. What is the best move here for you and your family? And it feels like when you do this, you're going to have to lose people. You're going to have to cut off a relationship. It's almost as if you have to say goodbye to something in order to, I don't know if the word is protect, but give the most or provide the most. And what looks like is holding you back is money. It's finances. And it is almost like you've removed your whole ego from the situation. You are not putting your will here. You are thinking of others and all that you're deciding. And that's great. That means that you are not going to make an egotistical choice here. It means that you're thinking of other people. And you can't go wrong by doing that because you aren't putting yourself first. You're putting others first. So my advice to you, if I were standing in your shoes right now, I would simply look up. And I think that this is the advice being given to you because this is who's calling you to come. So basically God is saying, come to me and let me help you through this transition because He's trying to get you not only to trust your own decision-making processes, but also to trust him and what he provides to you. So watch for pennies and feathers and dimes, and watch for things that he will be sending you, because I'm basically just a channel. I am one of his tools to help people to like redirect back onto their path with him. And so I'm really just nothing in this whole process other than a communicator. And it's he's ultimately using me to get people to go back to him. That's what he's doing. And he's calling you home, like calling you to communicate directly with him. So prayer, listening, asking questions. And you know what? Everybody should listen to that advice. Everyone. Everybody should. Everyone should listen to that advice. Okay. Hello, Robert. Hello, Sharon. Hello, you guys. Hello, Annabelle and Debbie and Penny. Oh, you guys are always here. It's like it's just so awesome to see everybody here. I really do appreciate you guys following and listening, because it only bolsters not only what you guys are trying to figure out, but helping your decision making and becoming better people and better souls. And that is why I do what I do. So I love that people hang out. All right, so everybody can hear me now. So everybody is good. All right, loud and clear. Do you like my background? I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where I'm at. But I prefer to just keep it that way. All right, so let's go all the way here. So who's here now? Amy Myers from Virginia. Yes, it has been a shitstorm. Patty Shun, we've had solar flares? All right. Witchy lady needs a reading very badly. Well, let me just put it this way, Witchy. Okay. The first place I normally read for everyone is the beach. Okay, that's where my guides have taught me to understand things. It's where they have explained to me where, basically where a person is at on their path. And so when I first look at you, the beach represents safety, security, and grounding. Water represents issues and problems. You're on your beach, but you've got off probably, I mean, if this is the water, this is the hole. Okay, so it's like 10 feet, 15 feet from the water's edge. So it's safe. It's safe from being filled with water. Okay, but it's a deep hole, and you have constructed a set of steps out of it. And what this tells me is that you already have a lot of the answers. Upstairs is saying, why do you second guess yourself? Why do you question yourself? You know, the one way to gauge and to test what you are receiving and what you are hearing is, does it come to pass? Does what I am experiencing come to pass, or am I being falsely led? And so right now, Witchy Lady, what is the biggest dilemma for you is yourself, is redirecting and figuring out, how does my spiritual path, because spiritual paths trickle down into the earthly stuff. It's just simply put, spiritual, mental, mind, all of these things are up here. They're unseen. You cannot gauge these things. You cannot sit back and go, wow, you know, how do we read this person's mind? You just can't. You can read their brain. You can test their IQ. You can test their brain function. You can test the little squiggly lines and the alphas and the waves and all those things that are going on, but you can't test the mind, because the mind is connected to spirit. This is where your biggest wrestling is. You have to differentiate the two, separate your earthly brain from your spiritual mind. And then you have to make sure that you are hearing and listening to the right things that are coming through, because we all have them. It's just some people are like, oh, that's all me. I'm so awesome that I came up with this on my own. That's bourgeois, because we don't come up with unknown things on our own. We only can calculate what we have learned and what we know. So your thing, this hole represents the place that you constantly put yourself. Now you're on your beach. You're in control of things. You can deal with things. You just have to stop judging yourself and stop putting yourself down into a hole like I don't belong up in this sunlit place. So 1, stop judging yourself. 2, accept the path for what it is. Start listening and taking the information that you're receiving and honing it, writing it down, keeping track of it for things that happen and things that come to pass, because then you finally are like the operator. You're like clicking in to a really good connection and you're disconnecting the ones that aren't working. So you're not crazy, you're not mentally ill, but part of it is that you get so down on yourself. It's you purposely, you bombard yourself with judgment. You need to stop it. You need to stop it, because that's what's putting you down in the hole. You've created this beautiful staircase out of it, which means you know how to find your way out. Stop putting yourself down there. And then that may even mean that, like, when somebody judges themselves over and over, it also means that you really need to let go of the people and the situations that are toxic and that are bringing you down, and cutting cords and letting them go. And it's very simple, but you've already got it. You just have to do it. Hello, Carly. How are you, darling? Hey, Toey. Hello. All right, she was talking to Lala. Sorry. Lala's been on her mind, not me. I misread that. Sorry, Toey. Okay. What does the B in the background stand for? Becky! Becky. Becky. Hello from Chow Mein. Hello from Texas. Wow. Okay. Suez Tarot, have you closed the portals? You know what's funny, Suez, is when I see you, there's one portal that is still appearing, like it's small, but it's in your bedroom. So I would think that this would still disrupt your sleep, or you would almost like you would have something high electrical that would throw off an EMF detector would pick up, that kind of thing. So it's throwing off electrical energy, but it's in your bedroom. So that is telling me that you may not be sleeping well, and you may be tossing and turning, rolling over, waking up. And I don't remember, it was a couple of days ago, maybe, when I was doing, I don't even remember when it was or what the context of the message was. But there is something going on right now that is highly affecting the connection spiritually. I don't remember what they said exactly. Just the gist of it was that it would create more of a, or less of a veil, or more of a communication pattern with spirits. And it had something to do too, because my home has just been infested with spirits. I'm not even going to go into this in depth, but today I had a dance with a gentleman from, I would think, the 1930s. I'm not going to go into it because nobody will ever believe that this happened. But he taught me the steps to a dance that I do not know, and I did not record it because it happened so quickly. But it was amazing. And when I was done, I was out of breath, and it was just the coolest thing ever. It was just, I won't even go into it. Okay. But that happened to me. Okay, so I think I've reached all of the live stuff here. And how do you close a portal? Well, closing a portal, one way you can do it is by not paying attention to it. I know that sounds crazy, but when you see things out of the corners of your eye, and you're like, oh, did everybody, and people are like, I saw that, or did you see that come down the stairs? Because that's what's been happening. And like, my kids are like, oh, lady just came, I thought it was you. Great. A man in the hallway, a kid between the beds. Oh, somebody just ran out of your bathroom. So everybody is seeing it. So when you're seeing it and acknowledging that you're seeing it, you're feeding it energy. It knows where to go to suck the energies. And so the other night, I've been having nights where I can't breathe, and whatever it is sucking all of my air, and I'm like jumping out of bed, gasping for air, and I've told it to leave me alone while I'm sleeping, blah, blah, blah. So fast forward to last night, the night before, I don't remember. Maybe it was the night before. And I was sitting on the couch, and there was a spot, or in this chair, there was a spot next to me. It was it's one of those oversized, smaller than a love seat, bigger than a chair. Okay. And I felt something next to me, and then all of a sudden it just latched onto me, and boom! I just was anxiety, couldn't breathe, and that's what it'll mimic. Like if something is attached to you or is pulling the energy off of you, it will mimic anxiety. So I jumped out of the chair and I was like, okay, get off of me. And I walked around and everybody's like, are you okay? And I said, and they're like, is it a ghost? I'm like, yeah, we're just going to get rid of it. So we sat down as a family and pretty much told it to leave. And that's one way you can close portals, is just ignoring them, not paying attention to them. That's not all of them, because some of them have been around for so long, they're just going to stick around. But I'm sitting here just boiling right now. Now, this basement was so cold a little while ago. I turned the heater on, turned the heater off, and I'm dying of heat right now. So, hi, Jackie. How are you? Okay. And Fire Witch keeps having things moved. Yes, they will do that to get your attention. If you notice things happening out of the corner of your eye, you see things moved, ignore it. Do not pay attention to it. The only reason we've been paying attention to it is because my kids are infatuated with this little boy, Gabriel, who's been at my house, who I'm taking home tomorrow night. So if you're in the Baraboo, Wisconsin area, I will be in Baraboo tomorrow night bringing little Gabriel and this party of people he's invited back to the bar. So, okay, Ashley Clanton. I don't remember an Ashley Clanton. So let's take a quick look. You're welcome, Suez. All right, Ashley Clanton. Let's take a peek at you and see what you're doing right now. Ashley, you're in several places on your beach. You're actually sitting kind of Indian style with your back to the water, quite a ways up the dune. So the water is over here, the beach is down here, and then there's this dune that goes up this way, and you're sitting on this path. Now, this pathway represents a person walking up towards over here. There is up the path is this fenced area, and all of this over here is field. And the field is where people who've passed over will come up and start talking. And I'm sorry, I have this like stupid tickle in my throat and it just won't go away. You're sitting Indian style with your back to the water, which means that you're not worried about things right now. You're not a worrier. You're not manifesting your worries. You aren't sitting back waiting for them to, you're not contemplating them. It's just that this is life. This is what you're doing. And you're sitting here on the pathway of that essentially can represent also issues and things that have happened that are creating difficulty in one's life. And I'm trying to listen to your energy. You're barefoot, which means nothing is holding you back right now, and that may be part of it. See, when somebody isn't ready for things to happen, for, let's say, blessings to come, when somebody's not ready for marriage or a committed relationship, when they're not ready to settle down, when they're not ready for certain things to happen, they still know deep down they have growth to do. It's not that they mean to, but people always go, why can't I find Mr. Right? Why can't I find Mrs. Right? It's because sometimes they're just not ready. And so we accidentally, not consciously, sabotage things. And we either find the wrong person repeatedly, or we just find things that get in the way of moving forward with them. And what you have to figure out is what is in your way to finally making certain changes and commitments in your life that you've been holding back on. And you're sitting, you aren't walking, you're sitting, you're like, I'm not moving forward right now. And although you're barefoot, you've been given the go ahead, there's still a lot that you almost like I feel like you want to turn around and still deal with. So this means that there are situations, relationships in your life that you may have walked away from prematurely, that you did not in your heart feel like they were closed off. So you have to find a way, one way or another, if you can, to close them. And this doesn't mean that you go back to a situation or a person and say, I need to close this door because I don't have closure. A lot of times people will be like, so who cares? Move on. That can happen. What is important is that you say, okay, this is Joe. This is this situation. This is this situation. Okay. And I can't tell you the name of this thing because I don't know how to say it, but there is a thing where you can look it up online, and it's an amazing little ritual. And I've kind of used it. I took those words and I've tweaked it to how Spirit has told me to tweak it, and it works. So basically, you envision these people who you are still, for whatever reason, hanging on to, these situations. You look at them and you say, no matter what, I don't care if they beat you to a pulp on a daily basis. I don't care if you were the victim in a situation. You are going to look at that person and you're going to say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. 4 things. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. You're going to have your talk with that person, and then you're going to let them go. After you get done hashing it out with whoever you need to hash it out with, you are going to face yourself. And then you're going to say to yourself, you're going to see yourself either a 5-year-old girl, 7, 32, 44, 66, however old that you reflect to yourself. You're going to see that little girl or that woman standing there, and you're going to say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And after you've gone through this process, what happens is all of a sudden, this flood of stuff that you've held against yourself, that you've done to yourself, that you have manifested, that you've said, that you've experienced, all these things will come out. And I suggest that you just let it come out. Don't fight it, because it's a way of releasing and realizing what you are holding yourself back with. And so then you can look at this and go, now I know. How was I so stupid? I can't believe I did that to myself. Oh my God. And then you realize too, your bad habits, your bad relationships, who you're attracted to, those kinds of things all become clear. And then you will finally be able to get up and walk, because there's so much for you to experience. I don't even know who I was talking to yet. I have to go. Ashley, you need to get up and move. So your guides are like, why are you sitting here? There's just too much for you to do. We need you to move. We need you to get up. And so it's very important that you do that, Ashley. But that was also intended for everybody listening, because I guarantee everybody in this chat room right now needs to do those things. I don't care if you're earthbound and that everything you've succeeded at and earned in your life is all because of you, because you're so awesome. I don't care if that's how you are, or if you are 100% Bible knocking spiritual. You need to let go and forgive, and then do it to yourself. And you will open up this whole new idea of, what am I capable of? And it's really awesome. And make sure that you are prepared to get snotty and cry, because it is an awakening. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. Okay. Sabrina Abels. Now, the first thing that they are flipping me to, Sabrina, is the earthly path. Now, normally I do go to the beach, which represents all spirit, and it can get seriously deep. I mean, the first time I read for somebody, I can very easily get stuck on the beach. But the more, and it's funny because the more I read, lately, the more I read, my left eye, I don't know if you guys can see it, but my left eye will just get really lazy, and I don't know why anymore. But it just, like, my vision, everything has just been really weird lately. And I've always felt like eventually one of these days I will probably be blind. And I think it's just part of where my gift is taking me. It's taking me to just use my other senses. And so my great grandfather was blind towards, he was in his 90s, but he was blind. But my vision is just progressively getting worse. And it's weird. People who are deaf, they have such an amazing ability to use their other senses. And so I see things without my eyes. And it's really weird. But I don't know. My eye starts like, it gets really weak, and then it gets in my visual way, and it flips and it sputters. And so I don't know if you guys can see it, but it makes it really hard to read. So who was I reading for? So Sabrina Abels. Okay. So they flip me to the earthly path with you. And it's a long hallway. And the first door on the right, I'm sorry, the left, my other right, excuse me, on my left. This is money, finance, and career. Down the hall a little bit further on the right-hand side, excuse me, it's not the wine, because I can guarantee you I could eat a bag of M&Ms and completely belch the entire time I was doing readings. It's just the way it's just what happens. It's just how it flows with me, okay? And I'm in this super uncomfortable chair, so I can't sit still. All right, so down the hall to the right is relationships, and then straight on down the hallway is health. And so the first doorway that, well, actually, as I'm setting foot, you are kind of on your hands and knees, and you're like, where is it? Can you find it? Like, you're looking for a contact lens. It's really dim. And you're not really looking for a contact, but it's like, that's the point. Whatever you're looking for is going to be very hard to find visually. I know that by looking for this, I'm probably going to step on it. And so what this first message is on an earthly level, nothing to do with the spiritual aspect of things, but on an earthly level, what you are looking for is going to be very difficult. Whatever you are actively seeking with your will is probably not going to come to fruition. So the advice to you is simply remove your will from it. Just basically say, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. I'm not gonna worry about this, okay? Actively, I want to pick you up really quick because I want to get an answer here. Now, if it comes to like health and health awareness, then yeah, you want to actively engage in that kind of a thing. You want to go to a doctor, you want to find out what's going on. Where health is concerned, that's different. But you're not, it's nothing to do with money and finance. I'm watching you walking down the hall, and I'm thinking this has to do with a relationship. You're looking for something you're not going to get. Interesting. So that means that whatever is going on with the relationships around you, probably an intimate relationship, not like a best friend relationship, but a love relationship, that you are seeking something that someone is going to be incapable of giving you. And what it'll take is you recognizing what you are worth and what you deserve in that relationship. So it basically comes down to understanding how much you're willing to accept and take, and then say, when am I done dealing with this? And not that the other person is a bad person. Don't get me wrong. It's just that we all need something. Now, what I would say in this relationship is to go to this person and say, in so many words, I never tell someone, just go call it off, get out of the relationship, break it off. No, I don't. Because if you do that prematurely, you're going to end up going back. And then that's stupid. So save face. Go to that individual and say, this is what I need. This is what I need in this relationship. Are you capable of doing this? Is this something that you can see happening? And if you offer the ability for your partner or your friend or your sibling or whoever to rise to that occasion, and they choose not to, that is not your problem. Not your problem. It simply means this is the wrong one. This is not who I thought it was. And what I mean by that is that your soul knows who it's looking for. Your soul knows and recognizes who you're looking for. Sometimes we just get them confused and we pick the wrong person. We cannot dwell on those things. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? I mean, that's what trying on relationships is all about. You get to try them on. If they don't fit properly, what do? you try something else on. Very simple. So don't be so hard on yourself. Who was I reading for? Please, please, please was what was next to their name. Oh my God, it just took off. I have no idea. Sabrina Abels. Okay, so let me wash off Ashley and Sabrina here. Okay, so I have all of these new people I'm so excited about. What? All right. Okay. Carly, I will get to you in a moment. So Sabrina, Ashley's, can I have a reading? That is funny. All right. So who is it? Sabrina. All right. I haven't read for Sabrina, right? I read for Ashley, and I read for somebody else too. She was up here. I don't know who it was though. I read for an Ashley. And did I just read for Sabrina? Was that who I read for? I may have just read for Sabrina Abels. Because I'm so sorry. I don't have anybody helping me. So I don't know where it was. I don't know. Did I? Okay. So I just read for Sabrina. Thank you. Okay. All right. That was for Sabrina then. Because I'm thinking I did that already. All right. So then Carly. Carly. K. So Carly, when I see your energy, I'm walking behind you on a pathway that has really tall walls, and it's lit. I can't see where the light is coming from though. It's weird. It's like there's really no shadows. So as we're walking, it's just lit up, but it's also dark. And I'm expecting us to go straight kind of to the right, slightly to the right. And you actually stop, and it's a really sharp corner. It's like this. So then this path is going up this way, and this one is going off this way. And it's really a sharp pointed corner. And I'm expecting to walk with you this way. But you actually stop and you are pondering this other way. Now, what they're saying is if you have a direction or a path for, let's say, education or your future in mind, and this is where you have been planning on going, don't do this right away. Wait. Even if this is tempting, if it looks like, wow, I would really like to try that. If you feel tempted off of your planned direction, something that you've been planning for a long time or something you've wanted for a long time, and all of a sudden you get to this crossroads and you're like, whoa, what is this? Holy crap, this is like cotton candy and ice cream and hot fudge and everything you can imagine with whipped cream on top. Because you're still standing there, as I near that portion of the path, normally I would tell someone, take the left turn, do it, it's awesome. However, this looks like something that will eventually present itself to you in the future that you will take. And that's why it may be tempting now, but it's saying that you're not ready for this way. It almost feels like it changes either your career path or what you plan on doing with your life. And so continue whatever pathway that you have been going on. Don't make a last minute change. I mean, I always joke around when I'm going one direction in the car and I decide, oh, you know what, I'll take this way. I'm always like, hey, you guys paying attention up there because I'm going a different way. I always yell at my guides. I always do. If I'm going this way and I decide to take the highway, I make sure that they're following me, because believe me, I have done that before without telling them, and I either get a ticket or something happens. So I make sure they know. They know. Let's see. Daniel Wilson. You know, Daniel, I want to point out something too. When I read your name, you have this awesome energy about you. And I want to tell you this, or I'm needing to tell you this, because it is needing to be heard. There is progress in this, and there is positive growth and movement. And you yourself are actually gardening right now. So for anybody who doesn't know, gardens represent a person's ability to give of themselves, of their soul, their time, their compassion, their heart, their love, their kindness. Nothing material, not your wallet, your money, nothing like that. The garden represents a person's ability to give of self. And this garden, Daniel, looks like this was very difficult for you to plant, because normally God plants this, but it looks like you did it alongside of him. Normally God plants those flowers because they represent his ability or his generosity of strength. So the bigger the garden, the more you have to do in your lifetime, the more lives you're going to touch, the more work you're going to do spiritually. And Daniel, at some point, I don't know from previous readings, all I know you've been here before, but I can tell you that you have started shadowing, practicing, copying how he plants seeds of strength, and you are doing it alongside of him. And I'm supposed to tell you that he recognizes this in you and that you are doing an awesome job. So hopefully that makes sense to you specifically, which is really freaking cool. And I love that. Okay. Christian Flynn. Christian? I hate mispronouncing people's names. Christian Flynn? Let's see what's going on with Christian. You know what I noticed about this, though? It's very clear. It's got to be super cheap. Because, I'm not even feeling this. It feels like water. So, but that's better off. Okay. Christian Flynn. Christian, I apologize if I've mispronounced your name. The first thing that they're showing is that you're out on the water. You are in one of those wetsuits. You're on one of those surfboard looking things, but you've got a stick. You're paddling along. So you're not in very deep water. You're able to use that to grab the bottom and move you. You're barefoot. This board is tethered to your right ankle. Your hair is dry. It looks like at one point it would have been wet because you've pushed it back with your fingers, but it's dried back. And you are aiming back towards your beach. Okay, so what this means is at some point you went out on the water. Now, people do not go out on the water just to go out on the water and play. The water represents the ability to go out and seek out opportunities without feeling completely engulfed in problems. It means you can go out and help someone and not drown yourself. So you are very well prepared in your garb too. You're barefoot, nothing's holding you back. So now is the time to jump on that new opportunity that you've been wanting, the new job interview, the new everything. Right now is the time. And this feels more earthly, so it would be something like work, money, finance, career, education. If you've been contemplating, start it now. Stop wondering what to do, because everything that you do that pertains to that will improve your earthly and your spiritual situation. Because right now, the successes that you achieve are not going to be based on, well, they are, because you're going to be like, yeah, I got the job and I got paid awesome. But what you achieve on the job is what's really going to fulfill, because it's going to feed a need. So you're out on the water barefoot, okay? And then you're prepared. So you did not go out there irrationally. You didn't just jump out on the water. You have this beautiful surfboard that's really big, and you've got this stick. So you also went out there with knowledge of what you were capable of, how deeply you wanted to go into the water. And it's funny too, because anchors represent God. And he hangs on to us so we can't get lost. But you aren't anchored. So right now, you are really doing everything on your own. Just know that when it's time, that you allow him to help you. I almost feel like he wants to grab your surfboard and pull you back to the beach. If that happens, let him. You'll see it in Numbers 11:11. It means that something is about to happen that may not be easy, that you are going to be called to take part in. It's never easy. It's a wake-up call. It's saying, you promised to do what you were going to do while you were down there. Now start doing it. Hello, McFly. That's what 1111 is. 111, 222, 333, 444, 555. They all have meanings. You can look them up online too, and every person out there has a different meaning for them. But for the majority, there's one person, I don't even know who it is. There's one, starts with a D. She does like angel stuff. She's very good. I don't do numbers, numerology, or astrology. So you have to go to, or dreams. I mean, I can kind of basically do dreams, but those are not my gifts. So I know their basic understanding and meanings, and then that's it. So you have to go to someone else for that. But career, money, finance, everything is all falling into place for you. So if you've been wondering about job and education, right now is the time to start, run to that and make it happen. It's very important for you. And don't, oh my gosh, this is to everybody out there. This is to everyone. Don't not do something because a partner says that it's going to make their life difficult. You know, I many moons ago, I had 2 singing contracts. I had 2 managers lined up to put me into the studio. I had demos done. I was contracted and ready to go on a tour. And I was with someone at the time who was very insecure and basically said, well, if you do this, he was very controlling and he would freak out about everybody who looked at me. And if I looked at anybody, and eyes to the ground. And so I essentially sabotaged the entire thing and I ruined it and I walked away from it because I didn't want to ruin the relationship. Holy crap. And I am no longer with that person. It's been like 20 years, not with that individual. So I screwed up something there. Everything is meant to be, though. Let me point that out, because had that gone through, I would not be where I am today in the least. So thank God that he knows more than me. But this time around, I have been doing this for 32 years. And I did not advertise. I did not put it out there. I basically went by referral only. If you didn't know somebody who knew me, you didn't know me. And about 2 years ago, now I heard, Rebecca, you need to put this public. You need to go out. You need to take this to the public. Doing so highly disrupted my family, my husband, everything. And so I said, I am not going to say no this time. And so anybody who wants to be in my life, you either deal with me as I am doing this, or you're going to have to watch it from the sidelines regardless, either with me or without me. Because I knew and let me point this out to you guys why. Okay? Because if you're unfamiliar with the Bible, okay, I'm not well versed. I know a lot of it, but I haven't read it thoroughly because I misunderstand it also. I know a lot from what I've been told. Okay, and so there's a parable in there about a father who gives his sons talents. And 2 of them go out and they take the talents. And the talent is considered a coin. It's considered money in this parable. And they invest and they make huge, like they bring home to him all of this talent. And they're like, look what I did, Dad. Look what I did. Blah, 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 blah. He's so proud of them. And then the one son took the talent, and because he didn't want to lose that, he buried it. And when he came back, he said, look, I have one. And his dad was not happy with him. And I thought, I already did that with my singing. I don't want to do that with this gift as well. I buried the one. If I do this again, he's going to cut me off entirely. So really, I'm God-fearing. I really am. And so I thought, I am not going to bury this talent. So I've thrown it at you guys. And my ultimate purpose, I was asked by a gentleman the other day, his name is David, and he said, what are you doing this for? Like, what is your purpose? What are you doing this for? And I was like, because I want to save people. And not like in a like, oh, save, not like that. I want people to know they are not alone. I want people to know that somebody upstairs, probably multiple people upstairs, know what's going on in your life, and there's a crowd of people around you who also are going through the same thing and the same struggles. So that's my little soapbox, and so I will get on. But that's what it is. So Kristen Luna would love a reading. All right. Kristen Luna. Interesting. I've never seen that before. I have to back up a little bit and see where you're at. Where are you doing this? Okay. So, Kristen, the first thing they show is that you're kind of sitting on a ledge. Your legs are hanging over, and you have a glass bottle, and it comes, the neck of it like flutes a little bit up here, and it comes down, and then it goes out like this, and it's full of, I would assume, wine or juice, and you have tall boots on, black pants, white shirt, and your hair is down. You have a bracelet. Thank you very much for that, on your right hand, right wrist, and you're like swigging it down. So I'm thinking, where the heck is she? I've never seen anything like this. And I back up, and from what it looks like, I would have to compare it to like the Grand Canyon. Huge canyon, huge gully here, other side way off. Like, you can't make that jump. So the important thing, there's so much going on here. Okay, first off, it represents needing to go from here to there, not having the ability to move forward from here to there, feeling completely stuck in the situation that you have already outgrown, that you can no longer do anything with, and you need to go over there, but you can't. So the boots, in essence, represent, and the fact that there's no bridge, there's no water for you to even get in a boat and go over it. It's essentially saying the feeling or the perception of being completely stuck in a current situation with no way out. That is how you perceive it right now, okay? So that's the perception. Perceptions aren't always correct, but it's what matters in a situation of how we perceive. So the boots are saying you're held back. The confirmation of no way to get across the gully or the canyon, this is also saying you're feeling stuck. And it's just interesting that I'm watching you drink this wine, because red wine represents Christ, and it represents, now, there's a lot of people in this room, not all of the same religion. They don't believe the same thing, but this is what people identify with, and that's how they come through. So if I'm reading for somebody who's Hindu or Muslim, Christian, whatever your faith is, that's how they're going to come through and speak to you, because it's all one up there. It's all same voice. So what they're saying is that this wine that you're drinking, he's basically saying, please just calm yourself with me. Literally, calm yourself with me. No, something probably redder and stronger than that, and not from Aldi. Because that's where forget it. That's where I got that. And it just looked like a fun bottle, and I'm all about fun bottles. Okay, so basically saying you are feeling stuck. You're feeling completely weighed down. You're sitting with your legs hanging over the ledge, and you're drinking this red wine out of a flask almost. It's like just a really beautiful wine bottle. And so he's saying, come to me, fill me with you. Let me take over all of your decision making right now. That's what he's saying. So when I back up, right behind you, where you're sitting on, is like dirt. It's dirt under your butt. There's little pebbles and rocks, and you know how it is to sit like that on a dirt road, or maybe not everybody. It's not like I've sat on a dirt road. It's just that you know what I'm talking about, okay? And right behind that is all this grass and these flowers and all this stuff. And So there's a lot more strength in you than you realize. And there is initiative. You already have it within you in order to figure out, how do I get across there without jumping off? And I just want to clarify something before I open my mouth. I have to switch my position here. Okay, I have to get behind you. All right, so interesting. Okay, so you're exactly where you need to be in order to cross this ravine. But right now is not the time. It's coming, and it's going to require a leap of faith. It is going to require you to close your eyes and take a step right off the edge of the cliff, kind of like Indiana Jones, and the rocks just appear. You're going to have to take a leap of faith. And it's funny because when we start moving in the direction of something that we want or that we feel it was supposed to happen, even if it's not there, that faith moves mountains. Literally, it's pretty awesome. Okay. Yeah, no, not a hot air balloon. No. All right. Hello, Sharon. Hello, Lindsay or Lauren. How are you guys? All right. Brenda Cromley is in here. Thank you, girl. I do appreciate it. It's crazy. I think Lala may have taken off. I haven't seen her wrench in here for a while. I think Kim is gone too. Oh, there's Lala. All guys to the ground. Been away from my ex for many. See that? She's awesome. See that? She was there. She may have just gone and gotten a cupcake. There she is. See? I said she just went and got a cupcake. Okay. Sharon, I'm gonna go up to Jamie in a minute. Sharon, let me reassure you of something. So just so everybody knows, this is why I'm going to say this, but I'm writing my second book, and I've asked people that have had readings by me that have used the advice given to them to better a situation to create like a short 3-minute video. Send it to me. I am using it in a lot of different ways. Putting it privately on YouTube, so the link doesn't show, but you can get it through my website. And I'm going to use it for other things as well, so that pertain to my book. So I have this video of Lauren, who is Sharon's daughter, and my first book is The Beaches, appropriately named, A Journey of Answers. You can get on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and stuff. And it's a short read. It's a lot of fun. So if anybody's read it, Lala read it. Lala actually had a book club on it. So Sharon, I just want you to know, I watched Lauren's video, and I see nothing but, what's the word? I don't want to use just positive energy, because I don't think that is enough of a descriptor. I think that her energy is healing, maybe is the right way to put it. It's so unconditional and accepting and emotionally intelligent, I think, are the best descriptors of her. And she's going in the right direction. And what has to understand here is that it's her time. She's doing it slowly in a trusting manner in her time. She's not rushing anything. And there's so much of a journey for her to still embark on. The thing is that she accomplishes, and then she stops and she smells the roses and she smells the flowers, and she doesn't rip anything out of the ground. She just lays there on the ground looking at it, and she smells them and she watches them all, and like she pays attention and she takes everything in. And so she will take what has happened in her life, and I see her working with younger people. helping them who are also going through a similar situation. And, you know, I will put it out there as well that um, people who have autism, and really any spectrum, any end of the spectrum, okay, people who have autism, the way that I see them is they are amazing receptors of inspiration. And so the fact that there is such a thin veil with individuals who have any form of autism, it allows information to be downloaded. And the regular person standing there may be going, interesting. Why are they doing that? Why can't they? It's there is this mechanism in how they are. And something just played with, like, poked me in my face. I don't know if it showed up last time something ran across my video screen. But they're inspired, and then they receive the information and they process it and they output. They're like the printers of the heavens. And so that's what she has to understand. There's a huge task given to her in this lifetime. And I think that anyone with autism needs to be studied in a way of, what are you receiving? How are you seeing it? Why is it coming through like that? Because there is a process. It's downloaded and then it's put out there in the way that it's received and perceived. I don't know if I'm making sense. It's computed and put out. And sometimes it'll come through in numbers and sometimes it comes through in a different fashion. But Lawrence comes through in compassion and love and spiritualism and helping other people. Because you can't help someone, like, I can't go up to someone and say, I know what you're going through, who has autism and is dealing with what maybe I dealt with, but Lauren identifies with me. And so Lauren can go to someone who thinks that they're nuts and who has autism. Nobody will trust me or believe me because I have autism, and nobody will listen. And she can go, I know, I've been there. I know what it's like. Because you can't be perfect and help people. Because if you're perfect, what fun is it learning it from anyone who's perfect? You want to learn from somebody who's, like, got scars and has been dragged across the rocks and dragged behind a horse at 50 miles an hour. That's what you want to learn from, is how the hell did you do that and survive? That's what you want to know. Anybody perfect? I don't know. They're not very exciting. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I want to learn something from somebody who's got scars. Shows they're survived. They've gotten through something. Tell a story. So try your hardest not to be perfect. Just be you. That is the best that anyone can do, and exude and be imperfect, because being imperfect is the best. You know, you walk into a room and you see a bunch of perfect people standing in a circle and you're like, I don't want anything to do with that circle at all. And they're like, we don't want anything to do with her because she's not perfect. I'm like, whatever. You know what? So raise your hand if you're one of those imperfect people who is never included in anything. That's me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And that's okay. It's okay. Just, you know, God doesn't choose perfect people who have perfect hair and perfect smiles to help other people, because you can't. Because they can't. So embrace your imperfections and ask yourself, what has happened to me in my lifetime that I can help others with? And then use that. It's one of your gifts. He's giving you a gift of knowledge, of ability to help others getting through something. It's really, amazing. Okay, I'll do a couple more, and then we will call it a night. Right? I got people raising their Bud, you guys, Morgan, Gray, Firewitch, Lisa, you guys, Toey. Exactly. Mary Grace, Kirby, everybody's rating. Christian, Mickey, everybody. See, no, we're not that different. It's just the perfect people think that we are. So it's all good. And I love that everybody's imperfect. Michelle? Yes. Okay. So, Doug. All right. So, let's see. I'm going to stop it here at Michelle A. I don't think I've ever read for a Michelle A. Michelle, I'm going to just tell you right off the bat, your energy, it smells like marshmallows. Fluffy marshmallows. Squishy, compassionate, take care of people marshmallows. That's interesting. You like to make sure that people feel good and are happy. The problem is they don't do it in return and to the same level that you do. Interesting. So you have a lot coming through. And I see you standing in front of me. Now your guides are talking about your smile for some reason. I'm not sure. I don't know if you've had braces or what, but they want me to talk about your teeth, your smile. I'm not sure if something happened to your mouth that they want me to acknowledge. I'm going to move it down here. Okay. And you know what? Let me put it on live chat. Maybe that will help because it's on top right now. Okay. And I just want a clarification on something before I open my mouth. So the marshmallow thing, the smell of your squishiness, like how you make people feel. There is also this, I don't want to call it because it's a gentle energy. So it's not so much like a contempt for people. It's, wow, you are definitely complex because they're giving me something and then they pull it away. So they're trying to make me clarify something here. Oh wow, the way that you're standing there, it's interesting to me, and I'm sorry that I'm taking a long time. I'm just watching it happening in two different spots to where one, there's this gentle aspect of you that comes through that takes care of people, and then there's this other side that gets aggravated when people aren't as kind or aren't being humane. And so what I'm supposed to tell you is that not everybody's going to be as nice as one other person, or they're not going to, hold doors for everyone. They're not going to say please and thank you. And you just have to deal with it. It's something we uncomfortably have to deal with when people either don't have manners or are not aware of the people around them. It is definitely something you can work to change. And believe me, I do. When I hold a door for someone, I don't care who it is. And they don't say thank you. I'm like, you're welcome. And I will like yell it right at them because some people just need to get woke up because of their ignorance. And they do, so you just have to find a way to wake people up so that not only do you feel like you're doing your part, because it feels like for your soul that this is an itch, like you want to make a difference especially for women. And so there's also a point of forgiveness that you have to do to let go of something as well. And when things are out of our control, we can't put our signature on it. You can't claim something for yourself or on your own if it had nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? Okay. Right, Toey, how hard is it to be polite? I don't know. I don't know. I went to Dunkin' Donuts to get a coffee, and this girl handing me my coffee was, I don't know if she was on something or just really socially inept. And I was like, how do you have a job? And she's like, what? So how she looked at me, she's like, what? And I said, how? You're a very impolite person to be working at a window. And it didn't even click. There are some people who do not get it. And I have no fear of calling out somebody who's being a jackass. I have no problem with it. But people need to be polite, right? Everybody needs to just be woke up sometimes. Okay. Yes, Lena Moreno. We were going to take I think it was it 68 or something across, but roads are closed. So have to figure out a whole different way of getting to Baraboo. It takes like an hour to get there anyway, but it's supposed to be fun. So if you're in the Baraboo area, this place is definitely spooky haunted. And the old brothel area upstairs is wicked. Oh, it's awesome. It's wicked, wicked, wicked. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate that. Okay, Jamie, there we go. I was gonna read Jamie, and then I'm gonna probably call it a night. Okay, and unfortunately, other employment no longer. You're right. Absolutely, Toey. Absolutely. Well, I will tell you that the percentage, and I don't get into politics. Well, I do. I love politics. However, I keep my mouth shut because I'm very passionate about it. But really, 2% or whatever it is, 2 to 3% of the unemployed people are those who cannot work, like legit are disabled or have issues. They cannot work. And people who just are like, I don't want to work. I don't feel like going to work, so I'm going to stay home. I know a couple of those. So, yes, Annabelle, it is Wisconsin. So, okay. Thank you, Robert. So, Jamie, the one thing that I'm seeing about you, the first thing I'm seeing about you is that you're out on the water and you're in a very small, like raft or canoe kind of a thing. It looks unstable. This does not look like something that you would have been out there going, I'm going to go out on the water for myself. It looks at some point that you went out on the water for someone else. Looks like this is a male figure that was in the water and you rescued out of the water. Now, when somebody is in the water, they're drowning in life. There is so much going on. When I see somebody in the water, I get very worried and I know that I have to take extra time explaining things to this person because they're at a point where they just, I don't want to be here anymore. There's just too much of that going on. So the moment that you see somebody's behavior changing or that you're walking down the street and you see something odd, get involved. Don't stand back. We need more awareness and more people that are compassionate, not just like, oh, did you see that? Look at this guy's going to jump in front of a train. Because that's the first thing everybody wants to do is get hits on their social media. So when I see somebody in the water, it worries me. You, at some point, Jamie, have gone out into the water with this boat thing that you've got, this canoe thing, and you've pulled someone out of the water. You are balancing to carry them back. This means that at some point, something in your life, there is a relationship of some kind that means something to you. This also feels like this may be something that you have been either raised to understand or that you've been around before. So it might even be a habit breaker for you to move through and out of relationships that are similar to ones where you either have to help or enable someone, because you don't want to do that. You want to learn where your cutoff is how long have I been helping? How long have I been trying to help? How long is it making a difference? Or is it like one ear, one out the other? So for like somebody, let's say, who grows up with somebody who's an alcoholic in their family and their parents an alcoholic. So then they grow up and they get married and their spouse is an alcoholic. That's important to recognize and go is this, even Jesus knew when to take a break. He's out on there. He's like, there's a storm coming. I'm going to go get in this boat over here and go to sleep. That's what he did. He's just like, he went to bed. Everybody else is running around screaming on the boat. Wake up, Jesus, save me. Even he knew when to take a nap. Believe me, in my line of work, I know when to say, I have tried and tried and tried, and you're not listening. And so I'm not going to waste your money or my time any longer. And that it's different. That's where people will get private readings. But you have to know when to call quits. And so what you've done is you've gone out, you've saved this, you've helped somebody get back onto solid ground. Now, staying on solid ground is up to them. And so what you and everybody else who's listening have to realize is when you put yourself out there and you try to help somebody and then they don't follow and don't listen, that's not on us. We cannot put our signature on things that are not to do with our will, that have nothing to do with us. You can tell someone something until you're blue in the face. You can drag them to the water, but that doesn't mean you're going to make them drink. Okay, so you have to know when it's your time to be able to say, okay, I've done my part. And you know that when the explosion goes off behind you, that you don't need to look. There's nothing to look at because you did your part. So Jamie, that's for you, is knowing when to walk away from a certain situation right now, when you're going to be okay with it, because it's not your business to change that for someone. So okay. So I am my eye will barely, I don't know if you guys can notice it, but it's like a struggle for me to keep open, and I'm wondering, did anybody see anything fly across the screen? Because I will go back and listen to it, because I get to doing my readings, and if I go back and listen, you can hear stuff, people talking and stuff. It's really cool. All right, so thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. My website, events.com, or RebeccaFoster.co, go to the events page, and then it'll pull up all of the events that I'm doing in the near future. And if it's in your area, let me know. Come see me. It would be a lot of fun to meet people off of the chat room. And then also all of my free galleries. So Wednesdays also from 1 to 2 Central Daylight Time right now, because we just switched to daylight. I will be doing galleries on my Facebook page. So those are also free and open to everybody. And then I have a couple more things and on here. So please join me. If you think somebody would benefit from listening, tell them to get on and just say, hey, I'm new here. So then I know to grab you guys too as well. And I do, if something comes through for you guys who are always here, as I'm scrolling through, if anything says stop, I promise you, I will let you know. Otherwise, you guys don't understand. When I'm doing this, I'm connected to all of you. I'm connected to all of you. And if something comes through, they will make sure that your name pops up somewhere, somehow. I will message you. I will find a way to get the message to you. So trust me. I'll do everything I can to make sure that if there's something urgent for you to know, that I will make sure you know it. You guys have an awesome night, a safe weekend. If you're dealing with the flooding, stay away from it. Don't be one of those people who checks out how deep it is or how fast it is, or if you can drive through it. Been there, done that. And just thank you for joining me tonight, and take care. And I will see you guys again soon. So thank you very much. See you guys later. Bye. I'm pretty sure it's pretty old, so I don't know how I ended up finding out it was already there.